We're back on with Dave talking about his friend Chris, right?
Yeah.
And can I ask you what was his he has mental illness, I take it, or no?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how much I can delve into it because, you know,
Confidential.
but, he, like us, he has either mental illness or addiction issues and, addiction issues, mental health issues,
Right.
or whatever. And, whatever you want to call it. But, he's just a really nice guy. And so we met that way. And then we started hanging out and talking on the phone. And it wasn't too long after that I moved to LA.
Oh yeah,
So
okay.
we kept touch, and I didn't see him for like 10 years. But then last year or the year before, I
Uh-huh.
went down to Orlando just to visit, and I was down there for like 5 days or so. And we went to Animal Kingdom,
What's
and
that?
it's one of the four or five parks of Disney World.
Oh, okay, okay. And there's animals there?
Yeah.
Are you also I'm an animal activist. Are you one? Are you also?
I'm an animal activist. I mean, I'm not as strong of a vegan as some other people that I know,
Yeah.
but I respect animal activists and I empathize with them and what they want, what they're going through. And
Have you guys, sorry, has Chris and you had to deal with like is there discrimination that you guys experienced but to
yeah, I
your
mean, I've had discrimination all the time, and I don't know why, if it's my mental health issues or just my personality.
yeah,
That's the thing about discrimination is it's hard to parse out exactly what the person is discriminating against because there's legitimate discrimination that's okay. Like if you're discriminating against someone's personality because they're a mean person,
yeah, right, right,
it's hard to argue with that. But
right,
if you're discriminating against someone because they have a disability and they have trouble reading or they do the
yeah,
work slowly or something like that because of a legitimate disability,
yeah,
then you know that's hard to argue that that's okay. But
right,
employers get away with it. They
right.
get away with it. So and it's hard to prove discrimination. It is really, really hard to prove discrimination.
And what about we left off with your story on the, was it the college thing where we left off last time?
Yeah, I mean, just the whole thing's going wrong when I got to college.
Uh-huh.
Just stuff started to go wrong. I mean, in high school, I was hiding stuff about myself. I was not really,
Uh-huh.
but I made it through high school in one piece.
That's
And
good. Yeah.
then in college, stuff sort of just went wrong. And I wasn't meeting people. I wasn't making friends. I was really depressed.
Yeah.
And I just felt like something was wrong with me. And I started going to therapists
Yeah.
and having therapy. But I made
Well,
some bad decisions in college.
and you,
And
yeah, uh-huh. Do you think I have a history, I'm not ashamed to say it, about drug abuse, alcohol abuse.
right.
What, and for me, it was the first time I ever smoked weed was when I was 12 years old or something like that, 13, and I was in Barrington Park, and I mean, I was the poorest person in a nice neighborhood. My mom wanted me to, we didn't have any money, but she wanted me to live in a place without drugs.
Yeah.
And we end up in a place with a lot of drugs, which is Brentwood, right?
Yeah.
And my best friend Jason, we were still nerds, and then Jason, I met some of my friends, and I started smoking weed, for the first time, and then I went to Israel,
Yeah.
and I got away from it. But when I got a phone call, I got an letter. But we used to have letters back then, right? And this is probably before you're born, David. But